Good morning. I want to extend to you a very warm welcome. Welcome, really, to the peaceful and beautiful Twin Island state of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I emphasize that we are most pleased to be hosting this meeting of Caribbean Ozone officers. And we are particularly pleased to have with us today the Executive Secretary of the Montreal Protocol, Mr. Marco Gonzalez. As you've just heard, Mr. Gonzalez is going to be exiting what would have been several years of work as he goes into retirement. And so this really gives his presence here this morning a very special significance. And I think Ms. Hughes was right in asking us to stand and giving him the applause that he deserves because of the tremendous work that he has done. Let us give him another tremendous applause. And so, Mr. Gonzalez, I want to thank you firstly for being here and to remind you that for your commitment and for your contributions regarding the furtherance of the Montreal Protocol, we would want, of course, here in St. Kitts and Nevis to welcome you as you retire, because this is a place that we do encourage those who have toiled very long and hard to come relax among us in our own paradise, St. Kitts and Nevis. I hope you'll take us up on that offer. As you've heard, last year we marked the 25th anniversary of the Montreal Protocol. And it has been a protocol that called upon the international community to bring its collective efforts to bear upon a threat that leaves no country untouched and no nation unaffected. And so I once again commend the Executive Secretary, his staff, and indeed the international community for all that they and we have done to rise to the challenge. The reduction of ozone depleting substances, the purpose of the Montreal Protocol, continues to be a pressing responsibility for us all. The health and well-being of people the world over demands it. And the environment and indeed economic stability of our planet requires it as well. And mindful of this, my government has made it a point not only of supporting those in St. Kitts and Nevis who have been tasked with the associated responsibilities, but also of paying particular attention to the products and practices used by local refrigeration and air conditioning practitioners. For some 25 years now, St. Kitts and Nevis has been a committed player in the effort to reduce ozone-depleting gases. And today we have a 98% reduction to show for it, as you've heard earlier. Even as we recognize the significance of this accomplishment, however, we remain mindful of the challenges ahead, where the hydrochlorofluorocarbons, the HCFCs, are concerned. That is why we continue to work hard, and to work hand in hand with our nation's refrigeration and air conditioning practitioners, impressing upon them the importance of education and the practical application of this education as we continue to strengthen, make more resilient and responsible these particularly significant environmental players. I remind us that back in 2004, for example, we did pass the substances that deplete the ozone layer regulations, which had the foresight to regulate HCFC's importation long before the global discussion of HCFC phase out was even started. Since then, we moved to accelerate our phase out of HCFCs And we're very pleased to be able to say that we have maintained 0% consumption since back in 2008, which is a very long time ago. We understand the importance of our own refrigeration and air conditioning sectors, keeping pace with the fast-moving changes in their industry. And so we assist them in receiving both the requisite education as well as the related equipment in this regard. And this is a partnership to which we are truly committed. Our own HCFC phase-out management program, then, is very much in place, with our own goal being to achieve a significant reduction in our importation of HCFCs by 2020. Indeed, our refrigeration and air conditioning specialists, they show a distinct readiness to embrace alternative technologies in this regard, further strengthening our confidence in our own ability to approach a complete phase-out of HCFCs by 2020. It is not enough to have only the technicians on board, however. Key to any success in this regard is ensuring that there is an ongoing public education, and so equipping consumers with the insight and information to make increasingly responsible environmental purchases has always been and will always be key to our own efforts. In addition, our commitment to the protection of the environment is not limited to our efforts to slow and indeed halt the rate of ozone depletion. We, like all responsible governments, understand the importance of working to advance the goals of other environmental conventions and bodies as well. And added to this are the unique resource challenges that all nations now face in this very fragile economic climate globally, and the special responsibility that this places on us all to marshal and, of course, manage with utmost responsibility and effectiveness the resources that we do have at our own disposal. And so in this regard, our opportunities for collaboration between our environmental partners and our own and ourselves, I would say, assume a very special significance. And they do represent a timely opportunity for all involved to share skills and resources and other attributes in order to advance, then, environmental interest of this planet on which we all depend. I emphasize that clean air is also and must remain a high priority, just as energy efficiency must remain a key component of the environmental responsibilities that are now ours jointly to assume. Because, as we all know, even though nations require economic activity and advancement, the world's earlier acceptance of greenhouse gases as the cost of development can no longer stand. That is why we in St. Kitts and Nevis have been so intent, purposely intent, on pursuing alternate energy resources in wind, solar, and geothermal, for example. You will remember that I referred earlier to my own government's efforts to ensure that our refrigerator and air condition specialist efforts to ensure that our own specialists here, that they remain current with the ever-evolving body of knowledge regarding the connections between air conditioning, refrigeration, and global warming. And so in light of this, the promise of replacement gases for the old refrigerant and air conditioning technologies now being more energy efficient and less harmful vis-a-vis global warming is most welcomed indeed in our country. In St. Kitts and Nevis, as elsewhere, however, the battle to protect the global environment must extend beyond government's efforts. They must extend beyond the offices of government. They must extend beyond the Ozone Secretariat. They must extend beyond the multilateral fund and so on. Our efforts must become part and parcel of our own respective people's ways of thinking and their respective ways of living as well. And so it is incumbent upon us to find ways to encourage those who live in our various countries to be much more aware of the environmental impact of the various products that they buy, and to be both vigilant and much more assertive in demanding that the retailers to whom they give their hard-earned funds, that they be responsible in reference to the types of goods that they bring into our countries to be consumed. And indeed, far from the need for vigilance being limited to the sale and the purchase of these various appliances, there is the matter of those persons who forward to repair the items in question. Governments must educate consumers as to the questions, the pertinent questions that need to be asked, and the answers that should be readily available, and the means by which various operators' qualifications can be reliably determined. The challenges, I must emphasize this morning, they are endless, but there are solutions to every challenge, and that is why we are gathered here today in St. Kitts and Nevis. Because even after an appliance has been carefully and prudently purchased, and even after it has been maintained and repaired under the most stringent of conditions, there is then the matter of disposal. That is a challenge. Who disposes these appliances, hundreds of thousands of which exist right here in the Caribbean, and how is this disposal to be handled is the fundamental question today. This too, I say, must be addressed. Phasing out ozone-depleting substances, ODS, although highly successful to this point, is not a very simple task. And as we all know, there are numerous challenges that officers everywhere face in ensuring the environmental integrity of the work that they are doing. And so again, I emphasize, used or contaminated gases, for example, must be disposed of responsibly and effectively. And the vast number of gas cylinders being held in country stocks throughout the region are yet to be effectively dealt with. And then, even as we strive toward the complete phase out of the 8 CFCs, the ability to distinguish scrupulous, competent technicians from their unscrupulous, incompetent counterparts has never been more important than today. So this too is a matter that you must address over the next few days that you will be here. And so protecting the global environment demands the best thinking of all involved. And the management of illegally traded ozone-depleting substances is a case in point. One that requires that there be even stronger bonds of communication and collaboration between customs departments, between our brokers, and the refrigeration and air conditioning associations and institutions themselves. Collaboration between these entities, I emphasize, it is vital. It is vital to the work that lies ahead of us. And we in these small states, by virtue of our size, have long understood the power and the importance of collaboration. This is a tradition, and to a large extent, it is a strength that we will most certainly use if we are going to succeed. St. Kitts and Nevis has long understood the importance of our joining the international effort to protect and preserve the planet's ozone layer. And we have welcomed the opportunities for partnership, the opportunities for collaboration that have resulted. I would like, therefore, to especially acknowledge the important partnerships and support that have resulted from the input and the involvement of the Ozone and Multilateral Fund Secretariats. These entities have stepped forward with valuable opportunities for both policy collaboration as well as material support, enhancing both the implementation of our projects and the strengthening of our own institutions. And for this, we thank them. We thank them because this support has enabled St. Kitts and Nevis, and may I say the entire English-speaking Caribbean Ozone network, to demonstrate substantial and also quantifiable progress where the implementation of the Montreal Protocol is concerned. And this is a partnership. This is a partnership that I am certain we all look forward to continuing in light of how crucial it is, not only to the well-being of our country and this region, or even this hemisphere, but indeed to the planet that we all have such a pressing responsibility to manage, and to manage quite well. Ozone-depleting substances are unfortunately now a global reality. So is the responsibility to hasten their demise. It is a global responsibility as well. Though not the major producers of the HCFCs, small nations like mine and yours are nonetheless affected, and disproportionately so, by their existence. And so in light of this, we are keenly interested in expanding and accelerating our roles in this pressing battle. And again, we do impress upon the industrialized world. We do impress upon the industrialized world the importance of the type of technology transfers that would strengthen our efforts in this regard. I say that the possibilities are endless. One of them, for example, being the establishment of the appropriate facility in our own region. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis, it acknowledges the outstanding contributions of our partners throughout the duration of this 25-year battle. The people of the world have unquestionably benefited, as has the planet itself. And so we look forward to continuing this important undertaking in defense of the planet, Mother Earth, which is the basis of our very existence here today. And I do look forward to learning of the outcome of this very important session that is being held in our country, St. Kitts and Nevis, the paradise of the Caribbean. Thank you.